And yes, climate change is the really hot topic. Climate change is the most globalized phenomena scientifically. South America or Africa or in North America impact all of us, and carbon dioxide is continuously growing. And during the COVID time, we saw that because of
I want to have a little bit of more understanding on the same. How many nations were agreed on the same and which have backed up?
three treaty which were announced globally by United Nations. After 92, there was a Kyoto Protocol in 97. Now India is the largest country in terms of population. So with
I am finding really very much difficult because we are heading towards the US based lifestyle. If you see our clothes, our foods, our home, our everything, working timing, everything, buildings, we are everywhere we are leading towards the US or a West culture, and at the same time we are thinking of to have an Indian lifestyle, particular area of Gujarat. So they have multiple dams, I think 20, 30 dams. Now they have a very good amount of water for their agriculture. Good morning, everyone. Today we have Mr. Shwetal Shah with us, who is working with GIZ, and is a climate change expert. I think no further introduction required when we say climate change, because it's matter most. If we say something happening in uh, uh, your small town and it's impacting Antarctica, if this things is matter, this thing is mattering you, and if you are conscious about climate, then we should think on it. And so we have Shwetal Bhai with us. We'll dwell into the various things of climate change. What is climate change? How it's impacting right now? How it's impacting bottom of the pyramid especially, and how businesses and the conscious capitalism is considering it. What new things we could consider, and how it's creating entrepreneurship from it. This is how we'll discuss. Welcome, Shwetal Bhai. Thank you for sparing your time on a valuable Sunday
morning.
especially in the morning. Thank you.
thank you, Ankur, Raj. Nice to meet you guys and discuss on the burning topics. And yes, climate change is the really hot topic. Uh, and I think among all globalized issue, climate change is the most globalized phenomena scientifically, because atmosphere doesn't have any boundary or border. So it's a quite cross-border thing, and whatever we do here or whatever things happens in South America or Africa or in North America impact all of us, and uh, we see this consequences now at its peak, and we still not have reached the peak, and theoretically if we see the concentration of the major greenhouse gas, that is carbon dioxide, is continuously growing. And during the COVID time, we saw that because of the less industrial activity and less transportation, it was paused for very little time, but it again pick up, and the economy and things revived and back to normal. So we call it business as usual scenario. So now carbon dioxide concentration has reached to 425 ppm, if we talk about the month of May or June 2024. So this growth or the journey of growing stock of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere is constantly growing. And uh, from pre-industrial era, so before the year 1900 onwards, now if we see, it has been like 125 years and more, and the constant growth we are observing, and all meteorological laboratories which are collecting the data are showing this single trend. And there is no symptom that in any time soon we are going to pick out. So the growth is going to be there, and that is the concern. And uh, in almost Paris Agreement has now passed the 9 years, and that time we were talking about 1.5 5 degree and 2 degree. centigrade and limiting climate change by 2030 and things like that. But 2030 is now just 5 years or
away.
five and a half years away, and we do not see any symptom that we are able to address the consensus that was built during the Paris Agreement. So globally, the developed country, developing country, and this all global south, global north narrative is there. But I think the political will or the speed at which we require to address this issue has not come up, and it is really alarming, so to say.
Okay. So, what was the Paris Agreement? I want to have a little bit of more understanding on the same, and how many nations were agreed on the same, and which have backed up. That also I want to understand. So, main, if you could give us a gist about Paris Agreement.
So to understand Paris Agreement, we will have to go a little more back. And the year 1992
Okay.
was one of the benchmark year in terms of building a global consensus about environmental issue. So the 1992 summit is known as Rio Summit because it happened in the city of Rio de Janeiro, and there were three treaty which were announced globally by United Nations. So UNFCCC was one treaty, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So that treaty is all about climate change. The second treaty was United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity. So biodiversity was another treaty, and third treaty was United Nations Convention on Combating Desertification. So soil is another issue, and to preserve the soil and stop the desertification, the third treaty was there. So these treaties are global treaties, and because of this all issues are global issues, so climate change, biodiversity, and desertification. So uh, uh, the people who gathered at that time, and they created consensus, and it was quite global benchmark because everyone accepted it, and there was no major opposition to these three treaties, and that were a kind of era of optimism that people saw that yes, everything is happening, and now we will have a solution to all these three problem. But today it has been almost 32 years past to that consensus, but none of the objective has so far been achieved. So particularly if I talk about UNFCCC, every year the COP happens under UNFCCC. So the last COP which happened in Dubai was 28th such COP, so Conference of Party. So only 1 or 2 year it could not happen because of pandemic like COVID and things like that. So every year it happens, and people do deliberate on different issues under the treaty, and how we have progressed so far and what required to be done and things like that. So after 92 there was a Kyoto Protocol in 97. So 97 Kyoto Protocol talked about the top-down approach. So during that time, it was imposed that every country requires to limit their emission with reference to 1990 level. So the base year for emission reduction was 1990, uh, but it failed. And also the CDM mechanism or carbon credit mechanism also came from that level, from that time. So the world was divided into two. One is developed country and another is developing country. So there was no limit for developing country, and China, India, some of the major emitters today were in the second list, which is developing country, whereas Russia, EU, and North America, Canada, USA were in the developed country list. So they were supposed to reduce their emission from 1990 level, or to stop at 1990 level. Their emission should not grow, whereas the other set of countries were allowed to grow. So that mechanism failed. So in Paris Agreement, it was now come up with the bottom-up approach. That is another approach wherein countries were asked to say their commitment or their target. So we call it nationally determined contribution. So countries themselves given their own target, and India also came up with its NDC, and our NDC talked about reaching 50% of installed capacity of energy from renewable energy by 2030. Then we also gave 2.5 to 3 billion ton of additional carbon sink through forestry. So these were our commitments, but along with our NDCs, we also put one another
Close.
clause about the climate finance. So we will do all these things if we will receive this much amount, or to do our commitment, we require finance, and that has to come from global north. So climate finance is another parallel thing that is happening throughout in this journey, because historically the global north has occupied their carbon space in the atmosphere already, and there has not been sufficient action to remove that carbon. So even today, we talk about CCUS, that is carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So, effective carbon sink is only the forest ecosystem and oceans. So, our forest ecosystem is not growing because the earth has limited land mass, and everywhere we are seeing that population is increasing. We are developing new and new agriculture fields or industries, or building infrastructure, road, ports, everything. So our ultimate pressure is on the forest ecosystem. So that is reducing. But the only thing that is happening in terms of carbon sink is the ocean, and oceans are getting acidified. Oceans are now the dump of everything, whether it is our hazardous waste, whether it is our nuclear waste, or whether even plastic
And
waste.
everything.
So everything goes into ocean, and ocean has the highest surface, so it is directly in touch with the atmosphere, and the excess carbon is being absorbed by the ocean, and that is, I think, one of the major thing. And in climate change, we talk about two types of disaster. One is the disaster that we can see easily, for example, earthquake. So it will be a kind of one event where the city or the infrastructure will get demolished due to earthquake. If there is a cyclone, then it will be a one day event where it will stuck to the say coastal area, and it will create havoc. So these are the disaster. Another set of activities, slow onset event.
Yeah.
So slow onset event is not a kind of one day disaster, but it is a kind of slowly.
It's like a chronic disease.
Yes, it is happening. So sea level rise, for example. So we will not feel that 1 meter sea level has rise in this day or this month, but it is a kind of process that every year, few millimeters or few centimeter, it will go up and up, and over a period of 50, 60, 70, 100 years, you will be really have measurable impact. Same is with the glacier melting. Same slow onset event is happening with the salinity ingress or desertification, or deterioration of soil quality. So
Biodiversity,
biodiversity
particular
loss.
species are getting wiped out.
So in the climate change thing, uh, we have a mechanism to compensate financial aid if you are losing property or life in one particular event, that is a disaster. But in slow onset event, we do not have any financial mechanism to compensate it. So that is one of the major thing, and therefore in a recent discussion there is a new term has come up, is the compensation for loss and damage. So even we have compensation. For example, in any kind of accident or any disaster, government gives if you lose life. If you are permanently handicapped, you also get some compensation. But if you have small damage, for example, you are losing your 4 5 days of work, if you are having some smaller illness or something like that, there is no compensation available. So these are, I think, one of the key things that we have seen in this entire discourses. And I think uh, people are aware, people are feeling that yes, this is a problem. People are recognizing climate change as a problem, but there is no single solution, and everything is also entangled with the economy that we are promoting. The growth rate of GDP, we constantly look at those figures. So the capitalist society and the consumerism behavior, I think, is one of the key challenge against the climate narrative. So there is a big gap in between the problem and the action, and actions are so minuscule and so less as compared to the problem, and still there is no cap or ban on the consumption of petroleum or the major emission that comes from the use of petroleum product
Fossil
and the
fuels.
fuel. So either people are using coal, either people are using gas, or people are using crude oil. So they definitely discuss sometime that natural gas is better than coal, and debates about the type of fuel is happening. But there is no discussion about the complete transition from the
Sustainable energy
conventional
transitions are not
fuel.
discussed.
And North America has huge shale gas, so they promote that kind of fuel, and they ask India and China to control over to bring control on the coal. Whereas we have
Abandon
coal,
about the coal.
only coal as
India is
the
8% of reserve, na?
yeah, I'm not sure about the figure, but yeah, the only in-house source of energy, or the source
Fuel.
as a raw material, is the coal, is with India and China. So sometimes these are the tactics to diverse the course of discussion, and not bringing consensus on the table. And this is how the nature of global diplomacy we are seeing. And no doubt, energy is a key component of any nation's sovereignty. So they don't want to compromise with their energy security. But yes, we have now technology is evolving about renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, uh, and we are seeing that that also provides a kind of energy security to the economy. And therefore India is promoting solar energy, wind energy. We have, I think, tremendous potential in bioenergy. uh, there are several ways to harness bioenergy. We have seen in recent time that how ethanol blending in petroleum can help our country. And and I think South America is a good example of their dependence on bioenergy. So substitutes are there, but still oil lobby is such a strong mechanism. So they also, I think, required to do a change, bring change in their strategy, and push for overall energy transition. And I think now, if we want to see a world with carbon neutrality by 2050, which is a kind of common consensus, but we require to work in a reverse way, so that how we can reach to that point by 2050. So every year, what kind of actions
Could be
that
taken.
we require, along with the projection in change in lifestyle, along with the projection in the population, because the if we talk about global level, then global middle class is also, for example, changing their own lifestyle. Uh, Anywhere this middle class is there, or even the poor people. So whether it is Africa or Asia, so the poor people are getting more empowered, and they want to also mainstream themselves into the
Consumer market.
consumer market. So this thing, I think, we should not see in isolation, but we require to see all these things together, so that our projections are more realistic. Our projections should not be only theoretical, but it should go parallel with the course of economy. And India, for example, is looking for 5 trillion economy and things like that. So similar aspiration are there in all economies who are in transition. Even if we talk about, for example, Indonesia or Vietnam or Brazil or South Africa. So every country also wants their population to have better life and facilities and infrastructure. So how we can make this better projection, because the amount of for example, amount of cement and concrete that USA utilized between 1900 to 2000, the same amount of cement concrete China utilized just in 10 years, 2000 to 2010. So we can just imagine the amount of infrastructure or such thing is required for India, because now India is the largest country in terms of population. So we require to provide house to every family. We require to provide electricity to every family. We require transport for them. So these are all sectors where you will have emissions. So how we can also do demand side management in those things are also important.
But how to, Shwetal, my concern is that one of the, at a one point of time, we are discussing about Nal Se Jal, Ghar, Sabko Ghar, or might be everything, like to have a good future, to have a good house with AC equipped, and with well furnished flats, and things are like that we are discussing, tremendous long route roads and everything. Those are necessary for the economical growth, but at the same time, they are the pollutant contributors very heavily, especially concrete, which is going to be used in every aspect. So these are the main things, and at the same time, we need to fight with something which is inevitable from this outcome. So how to balance this? Well, I'm still staggering about it. I don't see any kind of scope. One is the current damages which are currently going on. You need to just stop it. If ocean is going to heat up by 1 more degree, then you will lose the ocean sink. The bacteria will be not able to work, might be. So एक तरफ वो है, एक तरफ अपन ग्रोथ कर रहे हैं, एक तरफ नया इंफ्रा बिल्ड करना है, जो ये नया इंफ्रा बिल्ड करे उसको कंपनसेट करे. तो ये तीनों चीजों को कैसे मैनेज करना है? वन इज द करंट मिटिगेशन, फ्यूचर मिटिगेशन, एंड हाउ टू डू इट. एंड प्लस एस्पिरेशन को तो रखना ही, उसको तो छोड़ ही नहीं सकते आप.
No, you are very correct, and even I don't have any answer to this thing. And if I just give you a flashback of some 80, 90 years, then Gandhiji told in his lifetime, I think it must be pre World War II era. So he told at that time that if India consumes the similar way to Britain, then we will require 7 planets to fulfill the aspiration of the people. So this was the thought and calculation at that point in time, and today we are no doubt talking about Gandhian way of life and philosophy or of limiting resources. But when it comes to personal choice, then it is not the fact, because everyone wants to have a bigger house, bigger car, and the aspiration fulfilled. So there is a big gap between these things, and even I don't think anyone has an answer. because if even 140 crore population of India today even wants a basic average lifestyle of any European
Yes.
or American, then we require too much
Oh, the
resources.
resources.
So definitely we should, I think, now focus more on circular economy, because the earth has enough finite resources, and not enough resources to support the aspiration that we want to foresee for say Viksit Bharat 2047 post that era, or even in the era where our economy is I think the fastest growing economy in the major economies in the world. So even today, I think to keep momentum in the economy, we require to change the pattern in resource consumption. So we can have a better life, we can have a better aspiration fulfilled within the limited resources, and how that I think we require to focus. So recently we are seeing that many startups are coming, and they are finding ways out, and I think for that we require to create a new economy and new norms to support those things. And in circular economy, I think there is solution for every problem, but uh, the simple cost comparison is not there, and therefore we are not able to do transition at the speed that we want. So, for example, if I want to have car, and if I have two choices, one is electric car and another is the conventional or IC engine car. So how to compare cost of both the thing at the same time? So definitely the choice of a common person would be linked with the price of that particular item. So how we can bring justice or justifying those price comparison? So because another new technology is not fully scaled, or the factories to manufacture those are not fully in place, whereas already investment is done for the
Conventional.
conventional items.
Even the charging stations and charging infrastructure is not fully grown. Like
Yes, I am
even
just
who can afford the electric car, the costliest electric car is having thought that electric car should be my second one, not the primary one. Because अहमदाबाद से बाहर जाना है या फिर कोई भी सिटी से बाहर जाना है तो कहाँ है चार्जिंग पता ही नहीं है, और वहां भी
exactly.
अगर दो चार्जिंग पॉइंट है तो वहां क्यू कितनी होगी वो नहीं पता है.
Yes, so I
That is
just
just for the electric cars only.
yes, yes. I was just giving you one example of one transition that is in transport sector. So my point is that cost competitiveness or cost comparison or level playing field are required to be created for every segment, and this is just one example of electric mobility or transport sector. So similar is the case with the agriculture, similar is the case with the energy system. Uh, so every uh, system, every component of our economy, we require to think which are the centers of high environmental impact, and which are the centers of the low environmental impact, and how we bring level playing field for both the things, and how we can change our economy from high resource consumption to low resource consumption, and ultimately to net zero scenario. And there is a really serious thought is required, and we have to come out of the lobby kind of setup to science based targets and science based initiative. And in between there is a lot of greenwashing also happening, and that is also, I think, one of the key concern, because uh, there are several hidden aspect in every production, every manufacturing. And sometimes we are also seen that how manufacturing of a battery is how
Again, matlab,
energy.
I was going to say that even it is debatable. Electric cars are very eco-friendly. It might, if you see the life cycle assessment of the same, you might end up with the more emission than the conventional car. So that is one of the case. And even there are multiple debates on the same. The tire wearing is happening more on electric cars than the comparatively diesel car or petrol car. So how to justify those things even? Even again, the thing is, some people are claiming if you are consuming energy which is already produced by coal, then
What is the meaning of
what is the
that
meaning?
electric
You are
car?
just passing some emission to some another place, and ultimately it's going to spread global, whole globe, and you are going to affect the things. So these are the very much debates which I never found concludable and what to do with the same. And secondly, you used one terminology, greenwashing. So we want to understand on the same too. Okay, what is greenwashing?
So exactly, the embodied energy or the life cycle analysis are required to be done, and if those analyses are partial and those analyses are just made to show the product is better and the other competitive product is inferior, and if methodologies are not for example, methodologies are not comprehensive, then ultimate analysis can turn into be greenwashing. And so, same example we can take of batteries or electric car. So we require to understand it holistically, from where your raw material is coming, how much processing is required to manufacture that particular equipment, and then what is the cost benefit analysis. And therefore I am talking about circular economy, where rather promoting new mining, if we try to recycle the existing component and better utilize it, so then I think we can really see a net zero scenario, because same thing also is debatable with solar cells, because silicon is used in making solar wafers. So the purity of that silicon is required to be very high, and to make that level of pure silicon, you require a lot of energy, a lot of refining of the silicon, from mining to making solar panel. So again, that is a concern, and for that we require very robust accounting of those emissions and the methodology, which are global, accepted, proven, scientific. And there are so much gray areas in all these things
Yeah.
which require to be addressed. But ultimate objective is to reduce the emission, and in no indicator we can see that emission is reduced in any of the scenario, and
Scenario.
that is the, I think, concern. So it is not only that climate scientists are working in this field, but I think everyone requires to have that kind of alignment. And since this is not a very small problem, this is a problem of our existence. So require it is required that everyone, every sector of society and economy get themselves aligned, because both the things are going parallelly, the climate change mitigation and climate change adaptation. And we see that the role of only 10 to 15% of population is in mitigation, whereas 80% of our people from our society are required to be adapted to the climate change which has already happened. So we also require to consider the already happened climate change, and already the amount of climate change that will happen in next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So uh, in 2030, what temperature we are expecting in summer, or how many hot days we will have in the summer, and those extreme condition will create so much of health issues in our poor people. So what kind of infrastructure and facilities we will have to address them at the, or their well-being. So I think in our kind of climate, everyone will require air condition at
Yeah,
their household level.
and it's one of the very nastiest things you could ever have.
And that will become basic necessity. And what kind of energy consumption we are heading to. So definitely, when we club both the things, again it creates a kind of new problem rather than solution. So what are nature based solution that we can promote most? How we can bring back our traditional lifestyle and traditional practices to address the concerns are really the solution. And really the Indian society have high adaptability to the change, but again that will limit growth to your economy and your
Yeah,
capitalism.
because you are compared when someone say, I was listening to the extreme pro, what we can say, the bottom of the pyramid person, and is very against the government, against the capitalism, against the everything. But he was comparing a per capita growth. How the things are relatable? If you are saying a per capita growth, means you are already supporting something which is very capitalist things, and at the same time you are thinking of the this climate change and what we can say the bottom of the pyramid. So I'm always
दोनों चीज
confused.
मर्ज नहीं कर
merge नहीं
सकते.
कर सकते. All the time I am having a the same impression of the same कि भाई क्या हो रहा है. I am not मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि 5-6 लोग दौड़ रहे हैं, एक उधर दौड़ रहा है, 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 और जो गोल है वो बीच में ऐसे ही पड़ा है, and still we are trying to accomplish the goal which is in between. So it's very awkward to understand. अभी तक मुझे नहीं समझ में आया. One point of time we want to say कि भाई नल से जल, but obviously it's going to impact our ground or aquifers. There is no other options. I think we have already overshooted our Earth's carrying capacity, if I'm not wrong. So these are the problems. How we are going to solve, I am finding really very much difficult, because we are heading towards the US based lifestyle. If you see our clothes, our foods, our home, our everything,
Working timing
working
also.
timing, everything,
Buildings.
buildings, we are everywhere, we are leading towards the US or a West culture, and at the same time we are thinking of to have an Indian lifestyle. How to merge this two?
No, definitely. And I think uh, at the end, survival of fittest will prevail. So we do not know that how or what way we are going to uh, address the challenge. And I think the all projection says that the major effect of climate change is not very far, and we will see maybe mass catastrophe in coming time. COVID time was nothing if we will compare to those scenarios where we will have very high level of extreme event, very high level of kind of disasters, or drought kind of situation, or flood kind of situation. And we will see that a high number of casualty may happen if those projections are be proven, or will be correct, because as per the business as usual scenario, 2050 2060 we can have global warming by 4 degrees centigrade. Presently our global warming is 1.25 centigrade
Oh.
as compared to
So 1.25 degree could create this much of death, especially in Ahmedabad. If you just as we are sitting in Ahmedabad, if you see the how many deaths, I think there it was a huge reported number. It was in the 3 number.
One day it was reported peak is 125 cases on emergency ambulance call.
Call.
So death is I don't know, but
That was the case.
calls
Well,
were generated.
we can, if we could have the real data, I will try to publish here on the screen. But these are the things already happening, and we just, this is the Ahmedabad where we are getting the reported, where we just don't know what is happening in the rural or slums, urban slums. We just don't know. Then at that time, if it's shooted by 4 degree, then it's going to be I don't think so. It will be the livable condition at all.
दैट वाज
And
द इश्यू इज लाइक इफ टेम्परेचर राइजिंग तो कोविड का क्या था कि हम चलो वैक्सीन ले ली कुछ मेडिसिन ले ली उससे कंट्रोल हो गया
कोविड
टेम्परेचर को कैसे कंट्रोल कर पाओगे
so this is not just one event, that 1.5 degree to 4 degree hike in the global temperature, but it is a journey, and the entire journey will be very terrific, and will have very unexpected consequences, and how to overcome is nobody has answer, because nobody has seen such kind of condition of the
Hmm.
earth ever. So there is no experience or no kind of situational analysis, even with the geologist who talks about the cycle of millions of years and things like that. So definitely the uh, next 5 years to next 35 years are going to be uh, time of global change, and hopefully we will have more replacement of conventional things than ever before. And why I am saying so, because the new infrastructure, the new money that we are putting up in the renewable energy, or the new innovations and R&D that is happening in the uh, say renewable energy segment, or better transport segment, are really encouraging. And at the same time we can see that how our we have the new options for change in the fuel pattern. We have now better technology for all kind of transportation, whether it is aviation, whether it is train or railways, or whether it is the road
Road
based
transportation,
transportation,
marines.
uh, even the shipping, and the two wheeler, and the transportation which we use in our daily life, and also the long haul things that we use for transportation of the goods. So hopefully this all will fall in line, and there will be major shift and visible change in the energy and the resource consumption pattern. And I think the new startups, new jobs, and the new opportunity coming in all these sustainability domain, if I use a common word for all kind of transition, whether it is energy transition, material transition, or the consumption pattern transition, then we can foresee that yes, we can have a better world. And I think human nature is that we withstand with all great challenges, and every time we have progressed after a major challenge.
challenges.
So whether it was first world war, or second
Second
world
World War.
war, or nuclear explosion taken after the second world war, or even the if we see the covid time, that how we have come up with new ideas and new ways. So no doubt we face challenges, but the invention that happens during this challenging time are really uh, paving a new way. And I really feel that whatever amount of attention that we are going to service sector in the 20th century, and post 2 decades of 20th century, but I think again green manufacturing will be one of the key area where focus will be created, because in any kind of service dominance, you still require basic manufacturing to sustain. And I think China and India are showing good green shoots in this particular area. But I think systematic support to these offshoots are highly required. So from regulatory side, from standardization side, and from economic incentive side, I think it is highly required. At the same time, I think mainstreaming of environmental economics is also required, because we do not value the oxygen we breathe. But if we start putting a price with those kind of consumption, then I think we will be realizing those consumerism, and we will stop over consuming or over exploiting those resources. So whether it is fresh water, whether it is oxygen, whether it is emission of CO2, so everything, if we will try to price in, and if we will make them internalized in the economy, then I think consumption pattern and behavior will change, and those kind of drastic changes are required at the global economy level. And uh, I hope that because World Economic Forum, World uh, WTO, and all major forum are also now aligning themselves with the climate change and environmental issues. So this systematic transition of the system are also, I think, one of the key thing that will drive the other transitions. So conventional economics and principle of conventional economics will not be relevant in the new world.
Next word.
So
You need to have more and more green parameters.
exactly,
As you
and
were discussing something about like Indian farmers are doing more carbon sequestration. If you could let us go through that journey.
exactly. So we see in our economy that the contribution from primary sector. So if we put a price to the labor that our farmer is putting for making the soil, the environmental services that our agriculture produces as a co-benefit of crop production. So in agriculture, we mainly value the crop that yield that we get. But at the same time, we are now seeing a tremendous opportunity in the agro waste as a source of energy. So everything now will require to be priced, and also the, for example, the carbon sequester by every harvest. So if you will mainstream this calculation, then I think the value of farmer and their efforts will be highest as compared to any other
Any other
sector
sectors,
of the
or
economy.
might be manufacturing or service, any sector. तो फार्मर को हम अलग से एक इंसेंटिवाइज या एक रादर देन जस्ट सीइंग देम एज अ पुअर कम्युनिटी विच इज लाइक हमेशा लोग बोलते रहते हैं कि इंडिया में 50% एज पर 2011 सेंसस डेटा कि भाई 50% लोग हैं वो 12 से 16% का ही जीडीपी प्रोड्यूस करते हैं बट इफ यू एड दोस ग्रीन वैल्यूज विच दे आर एडिंग दैट इट माइट बी ए 16% या कोई 25-30% तक पहुंच जाएगा. And plus you are generating the what we can say, you are sustaining this much of people, means your sector has a much potential, and this could pave a new way towards seeing agriculture as a new thing.
एग्जैक्टली बट वो आपके सब
एक प्राउडली देख सकोगे अपन.
सब आपके इन्फ्लेशन के फिगर्स को भी वो ड्रास्टिकली चेंज कर देगा अगर आप इतना वैल्यूएशन करोगे. तो फिर मेरा 1 kg राइस अगर आप 50 रुपये मिल रहा है तो वो 500 रुपये का हो जाएगा. तो फिर सो ग्रेजुअल शिफ्ट विल बी रिक्वायर्ड, बट लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड मतलब हर एक सेक्टर में लाना ज़रूरी है. बिकॉज हमने देखा कि सर्विस सेक्टर जो कंप्यूटर ड्रिवन है, इसका एफर्ट या उसका इनपुट कॉस्ट के सामने उसका जो वैल्यूएशन है दैट हैज़ ऑलवेज बीन टू हाई. एट द सेम टाइम we have really seen the fresh water availability or the food that we get from the farm. We have not valued it at par. So there will be some new calculation and new economics that will emerge.
लाइक जस्ट हमने परचेसिंग पावर पेरिटी के ऊपर एक जीडीपी का एक इंडेक्स बनाया कि भाई जीडीपी यू कैन कैलकुलेट बेस्ड ऑन द परचेसिंग पावर पेरिटी. So now we will say India will be the second या third largest economy in the world. बाकी हम चौथे पांचवें नंबर पे जो भी है वहाँ पे हो जाएंगे. तो like this way, if we consider one is the pure जो अभी अपना जो setup है वो, secondary it could be let's add a green bullions, let's say it's green bullion. I just don't know what is the word for the same. उसको ऐड करके देखो कि भाई नहीं ये सेक्टर इतना प्रोड्यूस करे, भले आप मोनेटाइज नहीं कर रहे हो उसको, बट उसको मोनेटरी वैल्यू तो दे ही सकते,
नंबर दिखाओ.
हाँ नंबर तो दिखाओ कि नहीं ये सेक्टर भले ही 16% आपकी इकोनॉमी में निकाल रहा है, बट अगर आप वो एनवायरमेंट, वो फ्रेश एयर, वो फ्रेश वाटर की अगर बात करोगे तो देन यू विल रियलाइज इट्स टचिंग समथिंग न्यू.
उन लोगों को ये नंबर दिखा सकते हैं जो इकोनॉमी में 50% कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि भाई तुम इतना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा ग्रीन ये बुलियंस को 0 है या नेगेटिव में चल रहा है.
you are buying this green bullions from someone else.
So actually हम आज की डेट में, मैं आपको बहुत लेमेंस एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि 1 लीटर वाटर बॉटल हम खरीदते हैं तो उसका 20 रुपया वैल्यू है, तो उसमें पानी का तो वैल्यू है ही नहीं. उसमें जो भी वैल्यू है वो ट्रांसपोर्ट का है, और पैकेजिंग का है, और उनके प्रॉफिट का है.
हाँ, उनका कमीशन है, बेसिकली सप्लाई चेन को, सप्लाई एंड मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट.
तो अगर हम रियल में वाटर का वैल्यूएशन करने लगेंगे तो द वाटर दैट वी गेट एट आवर होम फ्रॉम म्यूनिसिपैलिटी, सो आज की डेट में वॉट एवर वैल्यूएशन वी आर डूइंग इज जस्ट द एनर्जी दैट वी स्पेंड टू रीच दैट वाटर फ्रॉम अ लेक और पॉन्ड और say Narmada Dam to your doorstep. But we have not really put the value of the commodity of the water.
Is a commodity.
So environment mein we are taking so much such commodities in our consumption which we really do not value.
Yeah.
And I think the ecosystem services of a tree next to my home, if there are several trees, then what kind of ecosystem value I get from one tree, and if I will start counting it, then it will be in lot lot much amount. So we really require to focus and incentivize those people and those activities which promote such thing. And I think plantation is one of the key thing that I always like to promote in whatever platform I get opportunity to share my thought. So I really would like to tell our listeners that they should really focus on planting trees and nurturing trees and getting benefit of those ecosystem values.
Nowadays there are startups or NGOs, just आप 350-400 रुपए दे दो, they will nurture the tree for you for 3 years and they will provide the photographs.
We should promote. We should.
आप नहीं कर सकते, आप वर्किंग क्लास है, आप रोज नहीं जा सकते, बट यू कुड, आपका एक पिज्जा तो दे ही सकते हो पर मंथ, 2 पिज्जा तो दे ही सकते हो ट्री प्लांटेशन का. मंथली एक SIP आप XYZ म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल रहे, एक SIP ग्रीन अर्थ के लिए भी होनी चाहिए.
बिल्कुल सही सोच है.
हाँ, ये एक म्यूचुअल फंड ऐसा भी होना चाहिए कि भाई नहीं, लेट्स पुट दिस अमाउंट टू दिस एंड दिस कंपनी इज गोइंग टू हैव अ प्लांटेशन, मैसिव प्लांटेशन, एंड दे विल प्रिजर्व द थिंग्स. दिस काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच शुड बी देयर. अगर ये होगा तो ही हो पाएगा, क्योंकि हम लोग नए नए ऑप्शंस ढूंढ ही रहे. कंजप्शन के हमारे पास बहुत सारे प्लेंटी ऑफ ऑप्शंस है. लाइक इफ यू टेक माय केस, ठीक है, आई यूज्ड टू हैव 4 पेयर ऑफ क्लोथ अप टू आई वाज 24. Now I might be have a 12-13 pair, I just don't know, but 4 से तो ज्यादा ही, इतना मेरे को पता है. I used to have only 1 pair of shoes और 1 pair of sandal, दोनों में से एक ही होगा. अभी मैं 3-4 लेके बैठा हूँ. तो कंजप्शन की इतनी अपॉर्चुनिटी आ रही है, ठीक है. Now I have 5-6 SIPs going on for my own benefit, but what about Earth's benefit? I do not have any kind of legitimate responsibility for the same. अगर ऐसा कुछ अगर हम लाते हैं तो this could work.
We should have systematic environmental investment plan.
Yeah, environmental protection plan. Environmental protection plan. Yeah, I will have a tree somewhere on behalf of you. I think कोई लोग तो लोग ऐसा कर भी रहे. ये अपने ये रोड पे तो अभी चल ही रहा है, काफी सारा कैंपेन है, सद्भावना वाले गाँव जाके कर रहे.
और एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री को भी मैं बहुत वेटेज, आई वुड लाइक टू गिव वेटेज टू एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री, wherever we have agriculture field, why don't we have trees on the borders or in the boundaries?
पर ये था
ही,
ये तो पहले था ही. और ये हमने धीरे धीरे जाके वाइप आउट किया है इन
And we
चक्कर
can also bring horticultural species, fruit bearing trees.
मैंगोज
yes,
है,
yes. कुछ भी
पोमोग्रेनेट्स है।
आपके लोकल के अराउंड करो, इट्स गुड फॉर न्यूट्रिशनल सिक्योरिटी। अगर आप देखोगे न्यूट्रिशन कोस्ट इंडिया का देखेंगे तो भी आपको पता चलेगा वी आर लूजिंग सो मच ऑफ मैन पावर जस्ट ड्यू टू द लेक ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन। अपनी एक जनरेशन
And I have seen that farmers are not getting economic incentive of doing such activities. So if we can find some models where agroforestry is promoted, because uh, ours is a agriculture based country, and there is lot of potential of carbon sequestration in agriculture field itself if we change our agriculture pattern to natural agriculture or organic agriculture, and using word prakrutik kheti means providing less inputs and getting better harvest, and using vermicompost and other nature based solutions.
small harvesting
So
techniques.
I think definitely local level we can definitely create better solutions against the global challenges, and let us be hopeful. And even now we have very good plant varieties which can also survive in the desert like situation, which consumes very less water and grow fast. We have bamboo, which also is a very fast growing species, and we have many use of bamboo.
Now we have a Miyawaki forest systems that's very proven in India, especially. I think world's largest Miyawaki is in Gujarat, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, recently in Bhuj, Smrutivan has
Smrutivan
got recognized as one of the good Miyawaki example, where they have put more than 2 lakh trees in very small area in Bhuj, which is known for desert-like condition.
Desert-like condition.
So I think it's doable, but we require to promote it, and basically we require to economically incentivize these things,
100%.
and
At
through
least to have a number. At least to have numbers. How much value you are generating.
because it always takes time. If I grow tree today, it will be mature in 5 years time. It's a very
survival rates are difficult.
slow process, and yes, survival is the issue, so we have to take care better take care in the beginning, and then tree itself can withstand with all the challenges. I have seen that even in Gujarat, even in our Banaskantha and such district where we have very less rainfall, even trees there sustain only through rainwater. There is no additional watering required,
Nurturing
and
required.
tree grows. So native trees we should basically promote. And
We need to have an understanding of natural native species and coexist कौन सी करती है ये सब
and really the tree also will fulfill the fodder requirement which requires for our milk economy, and trees are also best substitute of bioenergy. So I think the one paradigm change in our approach towards the plantation will solve many of our problems, and will able to get better environment, better air quality, because tree also absorbs lot of pollutions apart from carbon dioxide. It will also stop PM 2.5 and other things which is harmful as air pollution. It will also stop
small
desert to expand.
Right.
So and we have lot many open land, grazing land in every village that requires a special attention, and I think some revenue departments approach and policy towards tree plantation also requires to change. And but the people's movement towards this thing will push policymakers also to change their
even corporates nowadays CSR is functioning. Even I want to highlight one more thing, which is the small size body water bodies. Small size water bodies.
Exactly.
It's create a huge impact. To just give you an example, like we have prepared one social return on investment report recently for one of the multinational which have done some CSR in particular area of Gujarat. So they have multiple dams, I think 20, 30 dams, small dams. It's a very decent sized dam, like a few square meters of dam. and the amount of soil they have saved, because it is on streams, and वो खाली जगह है, वहाँ कुछ नहीं है और soil
Yeah.
erosion हो रहा है, तो एक तो
So
पानी
it
वहाँ
will stop.
हाँ पानी स्टॉप कर दिया आपने, वहाँ सोइल स्टॉप कर दी, तो क्या है कि आजू बाजू के जो 5-10 फार्मर है वहां से हर साल वो जो काप निकलता है, वो सिल्क निकलती है,
Yeah,
उसको
they dredge the
हाँ
soil
एंड
and they
रीयूज इट,
reuse.
तो वन इज द सोइल क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव, दूसरा वो पानी रिचार्ज हो गया, तो जो वो एरिया जहाँ सेमी माइग्रेशन मेजर सेमी माइग्रेटरी ट्राइब्स, तो वो 4-5 महीने के लिए वो निकल जाते थे, नाउ दे हैव अ वेरी गुड अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर फॉर देयर एग्रीकल्चर एज वेल एज फॉर मतलब पोर्टेबल कंजप्शन। सो अभी उन लोगों का माइग्रेशन कम हुआ, ये सब चीजें भी हुई है, तो ये जो स्मॉल वाटर बॉडी और उसके आजू बाजू ट्री प्लांटेशन, so
Right.
now you have a perfect one small ecosystem, जो आपको एकदम what you can say, the pack of full of carbons and the perfectly salient spot for everything. I think that kind of approach we need to have, and we have calculated
The
for
SROI.
SROI for investing for 1 rupees. They have generated a 157 rupees of return.
Wow. It's
So,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
and
phenomenal.
still we haven't considered the cost of soil degradation. Huh? You just consider the cost of soil. If
Silt.
I silt, if I buy those silts from a local area, जो 400 रुपये 500 रुपये का ट्रैक्टर आता है, वो सिल्ट अगर मैं वहां से खरीदता हूँ, वही कोस्ट को हमने कंसिडर किया। पानी का कोस्ट अगर मैं नर्मदा से लेता हूँ, अगर पानी मतलब
Yes.
सदा सरोवर से लेता हूँ, तो वो जो कोस्ट आता है वही।
So this also helps in groundwater recharge.
यस, वाटर टेबल पूरा
रिवाइव हो गया उस
revive हो
एरिया में,
जाएगा।
और ये तो पायलट था, अभी जो ये आउटकम आया है, वो जब वो ये लोग एक्सपांड करेंगे तब इट्स गोइंग टू हैव अ पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट इन ऑल द एरिया। जो
So I
ड्राई
think rainwater harvesting in a big way, in a very mainstreamed way, is also, I think,
that
very much
should be.
necessary and
And
important.
one very interesting business model I have heard from the Surat. There are few guys, उन लोगों ने एक जमीन रेंट पे लेके रखा है, उसमें वो रेन वाटर को हार्वेस्ट करते हैं और वो पानी को बेच देते हैं। People prefer to have a rain water, and they are sustainable.
I think all decentralized resources are really helpful. You just imagine that in very scorching summer, if somehow our electricity supply is disrupt even for 2-3 days, then what kind of havoc we can
Yeah,
face?
we can't just imagine.
We will
Because
not have
every
drinking
time
water even.
every time we have so many people in ICU in our all big 5-star hospitals. So what will happen to them if such electricity shortage is created, or maybe some disruption is created?
It's
So
really
high dependence on the external resource supply is also dangerous for the humankind, and we have considered that there will be no electricity disruption. So we are living on this hypothesis, and if we are given a chance to live 2, 3, 4 days without electricity, what will happen to our lifestyle, or what will whether we will be able to survive or not? So such training, such situation, we require to understand, and we also require to train our people that be careful and be less dependent on the
But
external supply
resources as much
and
as it.
the resources. So back to nature is also one of the key learning that should be part of our uh, overall upbringing, because if electricity will not be there for example for 4-5 days, then you will also not be able to use cell phone, you will not able to be anywhere in the social media and so on. So uh, friends, let's just be uh, be realistic, be try to understand the issue as your own problem, or the problem of the mankind, uh, and and just try to contribute to solution. So if everyone will start contributing to the solution, then definitely we will have a better earth. So we can start with our behavioral change,
Yeah.
our
Consumption pattern.
consumption pattern change. अगर नहीं जरूरत है तो don't use those things, don't lose the cold air which is मतलब जो आपने एसी से कूल किया उस एयर को लूज मत कीजिए. Don't use glass wala infrastructure, especially in building design in India. At least to have some decency. We are not in foreign where we just need to retain a heat inside the building. So इस टाइप के changes हो गए, then we'll for sure will have a path breaking achievement in the climate change. Hope and I think that was something very positive. We forgot to discuss matlab about climate entrepreneurship, but I think we'll do in the next session.
Yes,
So
sure.
we'll meet you again
Definitely,
for the same climate entrepreneurship, green entrepreneurship पे अपन एक नया पूरा session that will be on the same.
Yes, there are I think enormous opportunity.
Yeah, there are enormous opportunity. And thank you, Shwetal Bhai, for coming to us and explaining a very critical phenomena of climate change, from starting Rio
Paris
summit
to
to
Rio.
Paris summit, and how individually what we can do, government where is lacking, and what green bullions can do. So I think that was a great talk to with you, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for spend
Thank you.
your Sunday morning with
With
us.
us, especially Sunday morning, which no one want to spend with a boring guy like us. At least.
No. It's really. I'm very happy to discuss the issues and also the solution, and your focus toward solution always fascinate and push the green entrepreneurs to come and try for the solutions, and also put their efforts towards the transition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.